Well now, check this out. To get this cover off, we undo the lock, which you've done, which is here, and then we push it sideways like that, and then we lift it up. And check that out. This is a Wheeler Wilson D9. So that makes it a Wheeler Wilson number 9, but the D9 was the later edition with some developments. Isn't it an absolute beauty? Some interesting developments had. So we've got this fold over thread holder. So you pop your thread on and then you sit it there. And it's just beautiful. I don't know where to start. It is just an incredible piece of machinery. Let's just get sewing with it. So, needle, we're going to go with the green. This is a lovely green. Nice, rich, dark green. And for the bobbin, we've got this gold. So we're going to go... Now, this gold actually came with the machine in this lovely black stained... It's a wooden bobbin spool, but it was actually stained black by whoever... It was a J&P Coates. God knows how old that is. 100 yards long. So anyway, we're going to go with that for the bobbin. And this is the bobbin. So let's get it wound and let's get this baby sewing. So to get this working, we need to put the handle in position. And then, if you remember the video of the Wheeler & Wilson number 8, the number 8 has the slide out hand wheel. Well, this is the same. So there's a little lever on here. We move that little lever and then the hand wheel can actually come off altogether. But it has these 2 notches on the shaft. So what we want to do is locate it on the outside notch. When it's on the outside notch, it disconnects from the main shaft and it allows it to be used for the bobbin winder. So there's the bobbin winder down here, and to bring that into action we pull it out, twist it, and that then drops against that wheel. So when we turn that now, that wheel's a little bit loose, so there you go, you can see that's now turning the bobbin winder. Now it also has this one here, and this is for a belt. So if you were running this on a treadle, you would have a belt coming up here onto this pulley, and that's what would drive the machine. And then you could also rest that against the belt, so you could drive it from a belt. So what we need to do, pop on the bobbin. Now there is no, or there doesn't appear to be any kind of mechanism for the thread here, so I'm assuming that we're just going to do it by hand. So we'll hold it there. In fact, what I'll do is I'll take a couple of turns on the bobbin just to get it started. Place the bobbin on there, and then we just turn it and feed it on by hand. So just keep a steady tension with my fingers and guiding it onto the bobbin so it's nice and even. I think it's another one of those bagel bobbins, although it's not as narrow as the number 8. There we go. So that's the gold on the bobbin, and there's the bobbin, as you can see. So shaped a little bit like a bagel, but not as narrow the gap as it was in the number 8. If you haven't seen the number 8, check back in the video and you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. So that's bobbin winding. So now we operate that lever again, bring that back in, And that's it now connected up to the main shaft, so the main shaft is now driving. And we'll bring the bobbin winder away from the wheel. Now it is possible to fit the bobbin through this plate, but I'm going to lift the machine so you can see underneath. So there's a little push button here, sorry, a pull, not a push, and that allows the machine to come up. And let's have a little look under here. So we come to this end and we can see that linkage, and if I turn the hand wheel, you'll see how this linkage is working. And again, it has the same kind of eccentric idea as on the number 8. So it has different speeds as it goes through its revolution. So you can see there it's going slow, and when it gets to here it suddenly flips that around really quickly. So the bobbin, sorry, not the bobbin, the hook speeds up and slows down as it does its revolutions. Follow that shaft along. We have then an eccentric cam here, or an offset cam, and that is what is driving the motion for the feed dogs through here, and there you go, there's the feed dog motion there. And then the shaft continues, and here we have the hook. Same hook is used in not the same hook, but the same idea of the hook is used in a lot of other machines. So we have this little thing that we pull out. If I can get my fingers on it. Bobbin comes out. So here's the hook, and the hook has this little clip here that holds in the bobbin, and as we turn it, so you can see the central kind of bobbin cage stays still, and then the hook turns around it. Very lovely. Okay, so we pop on our bobbin. Flip over that clip. No, I've got the thread on the wrong side of the clip. Pop on our bobbin, flip over that clip, and then the thread goes behind this little tooth here, and then if we hold the bobbin, as we pull the thread across, it clips into the tension spring. So that has now got us some bobbin tension, and there's a screw in there to adjust it to get more or less bobbin tension as you need it. So that is our bobbin fitted. So we drop that back down. And as you see, it is possible to fit that bobbin just from the plate. With this little cutaway here, gives you good access to it. Okay, we'll pop that plate back on for now. And let's look at threading. Okay, we're going with this rich green. Onto the thread holder. There you go, that sits down there. Now, first thread guide is up here. It goes under that little bar and then over this little pre-tension disc. We then come to the tensioners. Now the tensioner on this one is not two separate discs. It's a revolving fixed disc. So we take a complete revolution around it, and you'll see when we pull, the disc actually rotates, and that's how it creates the tension. Okay, we now go down and underneath this bottom one, and that is our thread guide, and it also has the check spring. We then go up over the top of the take-up arm, and it has a lovely slot that we can drop into. We are then down onto this thread guide here. There's then another thread guide at the top of the needle, and then we are into the needle from right to left. Now the needle in this machine is quite specific. I haven't been able to work out an alternative, and I don't believe they are currently made. There is a workaround, but it would involve grinding a flat onto another needle. Look at that, first time. Okay, now we'll bring up the bottom thread. There it is. Set those threads to the back and we are ready to sew. Okay, here we go. I forgot to hang on to the thread. Right, this time. Back tack. Oh, wow. It's quite a long stitch as well. Oh, that is just lovely. What a fabulous stitch. And like I say, it's quite long. It takes a little bit to get it started, pulling the thread through that, around that tensioner. But once it's going, that's just smooth as anything. So I'm making this little bag that we can put the tins in, and that'll help to protect the machine. Can you see that? I can't fault that at all. That is an absolutely perfect stitch. It's straight, it's in line, there's no deviation in the threads, they are all consistent, and they are quite long as well. That's about 4 or 5 stitches to the inch, which for this age of machine, that's pretty good. Very impressed with that. And there's a little bag for its bits. Oh, I should have put a WW on the front, shouldn't I? Oh, next time. This is a Wheeler & Wilson D9, which was the development from the number 9. But what I've been very surprised to see in this one is the similarities to the Singer 15. I mean, there are definitely differences, but the way this mechanism works is pretty much the same principles. It's got the pickup arm on the opposite side, but the mechanism is the same. So there's a cam on the end of the main shaft that is driving the take-up arm, and it's also driving the needle bar, which is pretty much the same as the 15. And this was around about the same time, so the development of this one and the development of the improved family were pretty much the same time. So yeah, very, very interesting. So if we pop the end plate on, you'll see again just how similar that is. One screw holding it on, and there we have the tensioner on the end plate. So we have the tensioner here, and then we have the take-up spring here, and then onto here, and then down to the needle. So yeah, obviously definitely differences, but the similarities in the mechanism are quite uncanny. Who inspired who? I guess we will never know, unless one of you knows better. Put your answers in the comments if you know. Here is the original instruction manual that came with the Wheeler Wilson. Sorry, Wheeler and Wilson. Made in Bridgeport, Connecticut, United States. And you can see yeah, very, very lovely. Lots of information. So Wheeler Wilson, of course, were the main and the biggest competition for Singer. And looking at this machine, you can see why. The quality of building this is incredible. It would definitely have Mr. Singer worried. So how did Singer deal with that? Well, they bought the company. Basically, I think in 1907 they bought out Wheeler Wilson. And then a lot of they sold the same machines with the Singer badge or the Singer name on them until they developed. So they used some of the features of the Wheeler Wilson to develop into new Singer machines. Oh, that's lovely. Look at that. I never thought of that before. So they've actually got, you see that? Yeah. They fitted an extra spool of thread using the quilting guide, and then they're feeding that through that ribbon foot so that they can sew that on as a decoration. That's quite incredible. So yeah, Mr. A.B. Wilson, the man who invented this machine, he invented a lot of the engineering solutions that still exist today in sewing machine design and production. And as I say, I think everything on a sewing machine was already invented by 1900, and a lot of it was invented by A.B. Wilson. And he was the Wilson of Wheeler Wilson fame. So there you go, a real piece of history in this machine. Hope you've enjoyed that. Subscribe.